Hi, I wanted to let you know what I've been doing in the start of the year 2020. And it starts with a story from actually 2018. Back in December of 2018, I took a 2 week trip to a conference and I was managing my food that whole time. I'd already been plant-based for 3 years when I went there. And it was a conference about healing, but it was more in the spiritual aspect. And while I was there, I decided to give myself permission to go off my normal eating plan. Although I still ate all my normal food, I added one thing back in, and it was peanut brittle. And I had this little thing of, peanut brittle every day for 5 days. And we're not talking massive quantities. It was just, a couple pieces of peanut brittle. However, that was the wrong thing to do. And I put on like 8 or 10 pounds that week. All I know is that my weight went up to 140. And I hadn't seen that in years. And I was horrified. And I could tell by the end of that 5 days, 6 days, that I was putting on weight. So I quit eating the peanut brittle. But it's like it started this ball rolling, and no matter what I did, I think I kept putting on weight. I didn't have a scale with me, but I could tell the next week that I was still putting on weight, even though I wasn't still eating peanut brittle. It triggered something in me. So, we're looking at the nuts, the butter, the corn syrup, the sugar, everything that's in peanut brittle that's like a no-no. And it triggered something, and I put on like 10 pounds that week, or over the course of the 2 weeks. And I have been trying to get that weight back off ever since, and it hasn't budged. It has not budged, and it's been really frustrating. So that brings me, sorry for the long intro, but that brings me to trying different things here in 2020. And the first thing I signed up for was the UC Davis 21-day whole food plant-based challenge. And it's the University of California out of Davis. And they had a cookbook. Sounds awful. The reason why I signed up for it is because you got a free cookbook. And this is the cookbook. We didn't get this for free, but we got a copy of it as a download. So my husband was able to print it out for me. And I had just a paper copy that I used. And at the end of the program, I liked it so much, I bought the actual book, and I gave my paper copy to someone else. And it was really good. It's called the Fab Four Cookbook. The whole program was put together by Rosane Oliveira. Olive, it's like Olive, Oliveira, Oliveira. And they did a little video every day, was talking to you about plant-based eating, about losing weight, where do you get your protein from, all the questions that people always have. And I didn't need the answers, but I enjoyed participating because I wanted to be with other people who are like-minded, who are choosing to eat this way. And it was really, I found it fun because I was able to participate and watch through the eyes of, and it was a Facebook group. It was a private Facebook group, so you could check in every day. And people would post questions or pictures of their food. And I really enjoyed it because all these people who are like, gee, I've always wanted to try this, but I didn't know how to start eating this way. So you had thousands of brand new people trying to eat whole food plant-based with the support of the group and the videos, and to see how their eyes were being opened. Because the first few days, everyone was struggling. I don't know what to eat. I'm hungry. What do I do next? Things, all these, confusion, the first week, trying to get this under their belt, trying to figure out how to change their lives or change their diets or change their homes, or, I have a family that eats this way and I'm eating that way. What do I do? All these questions and concerns are getting ironed out the first week. And then the second week, people are starting to get in the groove, and they're like, oh yeah, this is what I'm doing now. This is how it's working. And by the time we'd hit like the 14-day point, even 10-day point for some people started saying, are your pants getting loose? My pants are getting loose. And someone else was like, yeah, I've lost like 5 pounds. And it was really fun to see people saying, you know, I expected to go off of this when it's over, but I feel so good. I don't want to quit. I want to keep doing it. And so we were just having a lot of fun. Now, the reason go back to you now, I'll tell you why I enjoyed this cookbook. It's very, the protocol they recommend, the reason why they call it the Fab Four, because they talk about 4 food groups they want you to focus on. And these are the most nutrient dense foods, to focus on nutrient density, where you're getting the most nutrition for the least amount of calories, okay? And so they want you to focus on beans, greens, which would be leafy greens or non-starchy vegetables, fats in the form of chia or flaxseed for your omega-3s, not other fats, okay? Just your chia and flaxseed, no coconut. Oh, they did allow nuts. They did allow nuts, okay? So, but chia, flax, and nuts. And then berries. So, because berries are very high in phytonutrients. So you could have, not that you couldn't have other things, but these are the 4 things you really wanted to focus on, okay? Which are all tasty foods. And then the cookbook is separated into 3 weeks. It was a 21-day group that we belonged to. And each week, you went through another part of the cookbook. And the first section has breakfast, which you could just, you choose breakfast that you like. And there was one really tasty one here. In fact, you could have it for dessert. It was so good. It was the breakfast berry oatmeal bake. It was very good. There it is, Latin American for week 1, where they focused on black beans, potatoes, and quinoa. Week 2 was Mediterranean. So they focused on chickpea, butternut squash, and wheat, which they had gluten-free substitutions. And then on week 3, it was Asian, and they focused more on lentils, soybean, and rice. And the recipes in here were fabulous. They were delicious recipes. And the reason why they call it the Fab, the Fab Four had to do with the food groups, but it was also a compilation of the last 4 years that they've done this online, of the recipes that everybody liked the most. They had this one I can vouch for. This is really good. It's called an untuna salad, and that was with chickpeas. And a number of recipes call for something called a cashew cream that they used like a mayonnaise. But again, I'm not eating nuts, so I didn't want to use that. I just use a little potato puree with a little mustard in it, and I pretend and call that mayonnaise. It works for me. Unlayered lasagna soup. Shepherd's pie they had. They had a Turkish chickpea salad that was really good. And I tell you, my very favorite part of the book, because I didn't need meal recipes as much as other folks might. I mean, they were good. Don't get me wrong, they were good. What I liked the most was the 2 sections in the back for condiment recipes, condiments, and salad dressings, because those are the things that you can add to anything and make it taste better. So for the condiments, they had a homemade ketchup, a barbecue sauce, the cashew cream if you want it, a cashew sour cream, chipotle mayonnaise, maple mustard, a queso dip, a tartar sauce. And then in the salad dressings, they had different kind of dressings. One, an avocado dressing, which I don't do, but an Asian dressing. Oh, and they had one that was, what was it? I forget. It was really good. It was one of their Asian dressings that I just thought was fabulous. And then they use a little tahini in some of these, lemon, basil, Italian. So to me, the cost of the cookbook was worth it just for the last 2 sections with the condiments and salad dressings. But then, and as a bonus, you get all those yummy recipes in the front. So, all that said and done, I did this group for 21 days. I didn't lose any weight. I didn't expect to, because I wasn't changing anything. I was just trying new recipes, but I wasn't changing how I ate already. But I really enjoyed it. And everybody else who was trying whole food plant-based for the first time, they were losing weight. Because when you switch from an animal-based diet to a plant-based diet, a whole food plant-based diet, not a processed plant diet, it just happens. You just lose weight because your body has less inflammation going on, and you're giving it more nutrition, and it just does. It functions better, so you're going to lose weight. So anyhow, that was the first. You got the intro, And the first thing I did this year was the 21-day Change Your Life One Plant-Based Bite at a Time program. And then I'm going to do other videos telling about the other things that I've done so far this year. I don't know if you care, but here you go. It's nice to know what other people try sometimes, and what works for them may work for you. All right, see you in the next video.